Welcome. We're back here once again with John Keeler, the CEO of Blue Star Foods. John, thanks for being here again. How are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you, Michael?
Doing well. Thank you for being here. John, we want to dive right into things. Why should investors pay attention to the company after the latest earnings report?
All right. Well, Michael, first of all, I'd like to brief you on 2021. For us, it was a transformational period for Blue Star, highlighted with our uplisting to NASDAQ, increasing our access to new capital, elevated our public profile, greatly expanded our shareholder base, and vastly improved our liquidity for the most. Over the past 12 months, Michael, we have raised a total of 12 million at an increasing valuation as we continue to execute on our growth strategy, both organically and through the strategic acquisitions we have made. We actually have proven our M&A strategy with now 3 successful acquisitions, which is to acquire new innovative technologies or companies where we can layer our sustainability resource management model and diversify our offering of marine protein species. By giving you that brief intro now, I want to go deep dive on your question that talks about now what the investors should be seeing is as follows. The outlook is tangible and very promising, Michael. We believe that we enter into our oscillator growth in 2022. And how so? Is because our operating and profitable subsidiary sales for the first quarter 2022 were about 100% more than Q1 2021 and continue to improve by having a great network of relationships to more access to sustainable harvest seafood and our recirculatory aquaculture system farms expansion, and in order to meet the demand that awaits supply currently. And revenues is only going to increase as the population continues to grow and consume more seafood. Lastly, what I think is also very relevant, Michael, is that the regulatory mandates affecting conventional harvest seafood methods, such as non-renewal of aquaculture in the ocean licenses, extending moratorium in existing closed fishing seasons, and lowering fishing quotas that result in a limited fresh catch seafood will over the next few years.
That's great news, obviously. And then looking forward, how do you plan to maintain or even surpass this performance in the next few quarters as we look down the road?
Simple, Michael. We continue to strengthen our distribution and retail in the US and Canada, which already includes nationwide retailers like Kroger, blue chip food service distributors like Restaurant Depot, Cisco, Performance Food Groups, US Foods, just to name a few.
It's great. Okay, very simple growth strategy, but very effective, obviously. What are some of the challenges or maybe the roadblocks that should be anticipated as we look at the next few quarters?
I love challenges. I love to create value from adversity, Michael. As we expand in RAS, which is our recirculatory aquaculture system on land farms, we need to be able to replicate and scale our different models from for example, 100 tanks to 1,000 tanks for soft shell crabs. As for steelhead salmon farm is to scale it up to 21,000 metric tons. Those efforts would take additional capital, of which we have identified less dilutive resources and the expertise in ramping harvest volume capacity.
Okay, let's take a zoomed out look at this kind of scenario as well. But what is the sustainable fish market going to look like in the next 5 years? Where do you see the future road of this heading down?
The future is magical. Michael, our recirculatory aquaculture system, known as RAS, RAS, is a logical harvesting method to satisfy the unmet demand in a safe and a responsible environmental way. I expect it to successfully penetrate a meaningful percentage of the marketplace for seafood over the next 5 years and solidify position for that as well in that manner. Also, as the consumer trends, there is, in my view of the consumer trend, there is a circular economy movement driven from the Gen Z to the millennials, of which they do want to consume more harvest seafood that improve their emotional well-being and health. For example, wild-caught and conventional aquaculture seafood have trace of man-made contaminants and pollutants, antibiotics, and microplastic. And they do refuse to consume ill-harvest seafood. So that movement is going to give us a much broader sustainable fish market outlook over the next 5 years.
That's great. Well, certainly an exciting future to look forward to. As always, John Keeler, the CEO of Blue Star, when you join us and paint that future out in front of us. Thanks again for being here.
I have one question for you, Mike, if you may ask.
Absolutely.
Do you want your fish with or without microplastic?
Well, I think that answer is obvious. It would have to be without the plastic, right?
As it is, that's the future of Blue Star. Thank you, Michael.